Okay, in front of you, we're open up in our activity notebooks to page 59. And at the top it says parts of speech. So I'm going to read the directions first, and we'll do maybe 2 together and then move on. This is something that maybe has been introduced before, but nothing crazy, okay? So it's just practice at home. And to be honest with you, there's a chance that moms and dads might need to look up what some of these words are to help you with it, and that's okay. It says draw a vertical line separating the subject and the predicate. So a vertical line is up and down. But there's 2 kind of new words in there. What new words were they? Draw a vertical line separating the subject and the predicate. Have you heard those words before?
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to know what those are. This is something that I want you to know, though, because oftentimes I'll come around and I say, well, you need to write complete sentences. Do you feel like teachers tell you that a lot?
Yeah.
You need to write complete sentences. Well, it's really good to know what a subject and a predicate are, because then instead of me saying, hey, you need to write complete sentences, I can say, your sentence needs a subject, or your predicate is not complete. And it starts to pinpoint in your sentence what's not done correctly. So draw a vertical line separating the subject and the predicate. Circle the nouns. Nouns are people, places, and
things.
draw a wiggly line under the verbs. Verbs are,
Action.
and then you're going to draw a box around the adjectives. Adjectives are, it's a lot. And an arrow from the adjective to the noun is describing holy buckets. It's a lot, right? So we're going to look at least a few of these together. And then this actually will be done independently. So looking at the first sentence here, it says, the pottery was from a small factory. Okay? So the first thing we need to do is separate our subject and our predicate, because the first thing says separate the subject and predicate. The subject is the who or what. Repeat that with me. The subject is the
Who or what?
It's simply the object or the who in a sentence. So in the sentence, the pottery was from a small factory. What are they talking about in that sentence? They're talking about the pottery. So that's where my line goes. Now I've separated the subject, the pottery. Go ahead and do it on your own paper. From the predicate. Here's the cool thing. The predicate is what the pottery does or information about it. So the pottery was from a small factory. So the predicate is everything else in a sentence. The subject is the who or the what. The predicate is everything else. So now I've separated it. My next thing I need to do is circle the noun. So in the sentence, the people and the places and the things. Is that a noun?
No.
Is pottery a noun?
Yes.
So we need to,
Circle it.
it's an example of a thing. Was, is that a noun?
No.
From,
No.
a,
No.
small?
Yes. No.
No, but we're going to come to that because we're going to need it. Factory.
Yes.
Yes, it's naming a place. So now we have to circle the nouns. We're going to draw a wiggly line under the verbs. Remind me, verbs show.
Action.
So is that a verb?
No.
We can skip this one because we know it was a verb.
No.
From,
No.
a,
No.
small,
Yes. No.
factory.
No.
Okay, so we're good.
I have 6.
And I have only 3 gone. So if you have not checked in, check in.
I don't need much since I'm leaving.
You still need to check in for cold. Thank you, though. Perfect. That way they just don't charge you. Draw a box around adjectives. Adjectives are describing words, right? So the pottery was from a,
Small.
you guys all told me that one needs a box. And now we need to show an arrow to the adjective. So what is small describing? The factory. So I'm just going to draw an arrow. Small factory.
Who's Ryder and Charles?
Charlie's gone. Ryder, go check in.
I started do this one now, I don't have to interrupt class.
And I already told them twice. So that's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't like to interrupt.
No, you're good. I'm just sorry that they don't listen. Okay, third graders, next we're on the second one. Read the sentence for me. Some artists draw pictures on cloth. Cloth, like fabric. Some artists draw pictures on cloth. So we're going to go through it together. First, we're going to separate the subject and the predicate. The subject is the who. The predicate is everything else. So some artists draw pictures on cloth. Cloth. What is our subject in this? Ray. Artist. So when I find that, some artist, that's my subject. Everything else is my predicate. Simple, right? I've separated the two. Follow along and do it. Ryder. The next thing, so I'm going to go right through the directions each time. Circle the nouns. Nouns are good. So I'm going to circle artist. We know it's a person. What else do I need to circle in the order on my thing? What would be the next thing I need to circle? Kason?
Pictures.
Pictures. Very good. Cooper? Very good. Thank you. Next up, I need to wiggle line under verbs. Verbs are? Okay. What is my verb? Or do I have verbs?
Yes. Yes.
What is it?
Draw.
Draw. Wiggle line it. Next up in my directions is a box around adjectives. Do I have any adjectives?
Yes.
Which adjective do we have? Ryder? You are correct. Some is an adjective. It's telling you how many artists. So now we know, I just kind of gave us the next piece away. Draw an arrow from that adjective to what it's describing. Well, some is describing artists. Not all artists. Not a artist. Some artists. Good job, Ryder. Good. Does this make a little bit of sense?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to be homework. So what I would like you to do is take this out, take this page out of your notebook and slip it in your homework folder. Actually, before you do that, put the due date on it, okay? And this becomes homework.